Hello to the internet world. I've decided to give video blogging a try. About a year and a half ago, I got severely ill, and it's definitely been a difficult journey, and I sort of wish that I had more of a way to know how to navigate the medical community. I was not prepared in any way, shape, or form of what was coming when it came to how I was going to be treated by doctors, or like the testing, how it may be inaccurate or inconclusive, and it was just a really long journey. I've been diagnosed with a few chronic illnesses. As of right now, the top three are lupus, RA, and I just got the diagnosis of chronic Lyme's disease, which could be playing a part in the others. And so I just really decided, if there's a way that I can bring awareness and light to all of this, it's beneficial for me and for other people if they need sort of help, and to know that, you're not the only one who's going through this, and that there are people out there that are able to help with things like that. In the past year and a half, I've had 8 surgeries because they weren't fully sure what was going on, so they were like, well, your gallbladder's acting up, let's take your gallbladder out. They placed a G-tube. They didn't eat a GJ tube. And so it's just been a lot this year, and in later videos I'll sort of go in more detail about each of these things and my diagnoses a little more with that. But this coming up week I have to get a EGD done, an upper endoscopy, because I've been having trouble with food getting stuck and everything like that. I don't know if you can see, but I had a port placed a little bit ago for my infusions that I get. I get out of breath when I talk a lot. I've also been diagnosed with POTS, but one of the big things is I'm going to Cleveland Clinic the 20th of September, and I really wanted to document that because, going to the Cleveland Clinic, it's not the end-all be-all for us, but I've been to so many doctors that are just like, well, tests are inconclusive, we're not exactly sure, well, it seems like you have this. And now with the chronic Lyme's and possible co-infections, it definitely is sort of making more sense of when you're looking at this. Lyme's can do a lot of things, and at one point I was in a medically induced coma, and it was horrible. I don't remember anything from that hospital stay, and the kids went through a lot, and my husband went through a lot, and he's just been a godsend, because even if people were just like, oh, she's just stressed out, my husband was like, no, this is not her, like, something is not right. And it's really hard when you have family members that aren't necessarily on board with, well, they can't figure out what's going on, they're just saying you're stressed out, and, it's like, you've known me for such a long time, and you're not believing that, that this is me. And so I really hope that I'm just able to bring light, especially with the diagnosis of Lyme's. I have the long-term antibodies and the short-term antibodies, and so we're trying to figure out what the treatment for that exactly is going to be. And I've been on steroids for a really long time, which can definitely cause a problem for treating Lyme's and things like that. And I have a lot of neurological symptoms where my mind sort of goes all over the place. I can't really think straight. Sometimes I can't even talk normally. But, just bringing awareness to chronic illness in general is just important to me, because people don't see, at home when you're sick and throwing up and in constant pain, and, most people don't see that side. And I'm gonna try to not get super emotional with every video, but it's a very emotional process. And I was working full-time as a social worker. I was a full-time I was a full-time mom. I was working, and I got sick. And it has been a big struggle. And I never thought in a billion years that I wouldn't have cognitive function. And, there are times where I would seize and wake up and someone would say, "Oh, you just had a seizure." And it's just very difficult. And so, understanding that, yeah, people with chronic illness feel good some days, and then other days they can't move, or the next 6 days they can't move. And so on their good days they try to get in, whatever they can. And, but I personally try my hardest not to show how poorly I'm feeling, because I want to be able to, live my life, as do most people with chronic illness. They want to be doing these things. And so to hear from people, "Oh, well, you're just thinking about it too much," or "You're stressing too much," or "Oh, you're not really that sick because you looked good the day before," it's not realistic with chronic illness. And so I'm hopeful that this video blog will help people, and if anybody has any questions, that I can be helpful by documenting, procedures coming up. Not only that, certain testing that I will have done, and with the Cleveland Clinic, the trips to the Cleveland Clinic, what that process looks like, because all I know right now is I have an appointment on September the 20th with the functional medicine team, and hopefully, they'll be able to fully come up with a treatment plan and really help make this functionable for me to live with. And so after this video, I am going to post a picture video of sort of, the first picture is where I was before and how I looked before, and health-wise before and as I got sick, how the journey sort of through that, and that is still continuing and is sort of a mystery. My husband came up with the title of the Medical Odyssey because it's a journey. Navigating the medical community and having a chronic illness and figuring out what's going on, it's, they still don't fully know what's going on, how to treat these chronic illnesses, and it's just, I wish that there were, there was a guidebook on how to do this, but there's not. And so you'll just have to bear with me, because this is definitely outside of my comfort zone, doing things like this, and some of these videos may not be the most professional quality, but I hope that you will just bear with me, and we'll see if this is for me or not, doing these video blogs. So that's a wrap for this video, and I will be talking to y'all later.